Today is our regular scheduled city council meeting. It's Tuesday, August the 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. We're in the Public Works building. We're going to stand for invocation. It's probably about
Lord, we thank you again for the life you've given us, this great country, and for today. We'd ask that you be with us today. We thank you for your city manager. Thank you for our council and all these that have come out, and we ask you, Lord, that you guide every decision we make and everything we say and do would be pleasing to you. We thank you for being there for us in Christ's name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tammy, you call the roll, please.
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Hamilton, here. Mr. Welly, Mr. Wolf.
Here.
Okay, moving on to mayor's comments. All right. So, I wrote this today, and it really speaks volumes, really. So, politics is not pretty. I'm not a politician, but I have learned a lot in the past 4 months about politicians. I am not always politically correct, and that is because I am human and with a heart for our city that goes way beyond politics. Now, people do not always agree. We don't agree with our families, our spouses, our children. But, you know, that's a good thing. That's really not a bad thing. People, children. But, you know, that's a good thing. That's really not a bad thing. People, all right, sorry about that.
There's something else you said.
Okay, so people by nature want to be heard. We all want to be heard. We've been up here before and asked, hey, just listen to us. We, the council, should be willing to hear different perspectives. We should be painting a picture for you guys as we discuss and demonstrate why we are voting the way we are voting. Because I get that question a lot. Why'd you vote that way? So right here in this room, we've observed both council members as well as citizens getting upset and leaving the room. And, you know, we are not unique. This happens a lot in every council at some point or another. We have observed council members saying, let's just get along. And we see council members do right the opposite. We have seen citizens come pointing our fingers at least at every one of us at this table at some point or another. So as we move forward, you know, I want to say that I was elected in April to serve a purpose. Since then, it just really appears a lot of times that there's a plan that's been put in place. We have all sat here and observed techniques of control used in this room before. We have seen council members work to discourage people, including other council members, from speaking up, and if they did, their voices were silenced or ignored. I have had that discussion with 2 of the members at this council today. As this was before I became mayor, and they felt that their voices were being suppressed. No one's voice should be suppressed. I do not control the council. I am a council member who serves as the presiding officer and I vote on this council. No one should try to control another equal partner on this council, equal member of this council. We will simply work in the best interest of the city. Now, this is where my loyalty lies, and that's where everyone's loyalty should lie, right here in the city and the citizens. The council does control the city laws, practices, policies, procedures, ordinance, and resolutions. The citizens still control who does this for them. As mayor, I will not serve at the pleasure of the council. I do not serve at the pleasure of the council. I'm a member of the council, as different from being the mayor part of my job. And the council does not control, has not got control over the duties of the mayor, as set forth in our legal document, the charter. As mayor, I expect to provide citizens with more transparency and accountability in our government. It is required by all levels of government that we have transparency. I took an oath to uphold, protect the city, the policies, the ordinances, our charter, the state of California's statutes, federal laws, at all levels of government.
You're in Florida.
What did I say?
California.
Did I really say California? Bless my heart. All right, and that's a Kentucky thing. Bless my heart. Okay, our charter, state of Florida statutes, and the federal laws, all at all levels of government. I took this oath. I put my hand on the Bible. I said, you know, I would do this, and I take this seriously. Now I'm listening and acting on my job. I want to hear your voice, and I want my voice to be heard as well. It is, again, human nature. Regardless of if we agree or not, there should not be any more attacks on anyone. The goal should be to state your case, provide your facts, and the council should be attentive to our needs, or your needs. We'll move to council citizens' comments, and you'll need to be able to come forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Tracy Gaddis, 1106 15th Street. I know that it's August, but I cannot confirm or deny that I'm playing Christmas music at my house right now. Having said that, this will be our 14th annual Christmas golf cart parade coming up. Last year we moved it to Parker Park. We've got so many new faces, well, old new, and so I'm just going to want to touch base with everybody, and it's easier to do it this way. I really would like to have it right back at Parker Park. The first year I started, we had, what was it, 9, I think. 9 golf carts.
11.
And it was 11, and last year we had almost 90. So we've outgrown where we were. Tommy and his elves did a great job this year. The lieutenant, the route that we did, it worked out great. Captain Sandy and the fire department. Last year it just all came together really good. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there, our new faces in that. We'd like to do that again this year back there, because we could conceivably come up with 100 this year. What came from my little idea of a little bitty parade has just taken on. It's a tradition now. And so I just didn't know if anybody had any questions about it, or just, you know, we'll probably need to get with you and just kind of start going, because it's August, and I know it's hot, but hopefully it's going to get cooler and it's going to get Christmas time. But we have it so early, the first Sunday in December. So it's never too early to start thinking about Christmas, and like I said, I may or may not be playing Christmas music. There may be a Christmas candle up, I'm not sure. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to make everybody know where I'm at with the Christmas parade. And like I said, it was the best, was it not, Tommy? It was the best last year has ever been. And so bigger and better. We're just waiting for this year.
Go ahead.
Yep, I'll be short.
Elaine Hardwick, 116 37th Street. First, I want to you weren't welcomed, so I want to welcome you. Look forward to getting to know you. I decided to change my approach on providing feedback. In the past, I have either emailed councilmen or Mayor Miller in particular to provide feedback and really point out the things that I didn't agree with, that I thought could have been done better. But tonight, I think there's been so much negative, I want to point out the positive. Last week, a citizen stated some members of the council were part of the problem. I believe we have 3 councilmen that are doing a great job. I think we have 3 councilmen that don't have an agenda and that truly think through their decisions. And all 3 of you have an ability to maintain your composure and exhibit true leadership during these meetings. So I want to publicly thank Councilman Jerry Smith, Adrian Welly, and Richard Wolf. Keep up your good work. Stay strong even when a few citizens criticize you and call you names. Don't let them convince you that you're wrong. You have a lot of supporters out there. And I know you have a thankless job, so I really just wanted to say thank you, and the 3 of you give me hope for our city. Thank you.
Hi, Lance Lindcool, 522 Maryland. I'm new here. I've been here since 2021. Love this town. Absolutely love this town. And I actually came and did a lot of work after the hurricane. I have friends down here. I actually came and did a lot of work at after the hurricane and helped cut trees off of houses. And I saw the devastation. I was right in the middle of it, and I wept with you guys. I really did. And I can tell you, the city council has done an admirable job in the last 5 years rebuilding this town. I mean, it's nothing short of spectacular. We're back better than we ever have been, and kudos to the city council for doing that. I like Al Cathey. I think Al is a good man, and he was very instrumental in rebuilding this town. So my hat's off to him. He did a great job. But the voters wanted a change, and they voted for a change last year. And I've been watching the city council members, or city council meetings, since Michelle took office, and the hostility of the existing members, the members that brought Mexico Beach back to its previous glory and then some. The hostility towards Michelle has been palpable. I second Michelle's call for civility. I think that everyone wants the same thing. I think that everyone is more than capable of governing this city and continuing on the wonderful trajectory that has been established since the hurricane. But I also ask that you respect the mayor's office and the authority that is provided to the mayor's office by the city council. And that's what I feel that I've seen is missing. And I ask that all the city council members respect that authority that's been provided by the city charter. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments?
My reputation precedes. George Gill, 124th Street. I want to remind the council, first of all, what we all learned in 7th grade civics. Democracy is simply defined by government of the people, by the people, And when it talks about people, it talks about either a state or in our case, a city. Very simple definition. Government by the people. And we've all heard that democracy is not a perfect form of government, but it's better than anything else that's out there. And I truly believe that. But I believe it when everything is fair and the playing field is level. Not when the playing field's been tilted in favor of one person over another. Then actually it becomes illegal. Mr. Hubbard, you did exactly what I would do. You applied for a position, and you were offered that position, and you accepted it. And that's absolutely what anybody would do, I would think. But in the process of this city hiring a city administrator, we went from 0 to 100 in the blink of an eye, against the collective voice of the citizens. We started with the citizens urging the council to take their time. We went all the way to some wealthy real estate broker who's not even a Mexico Beach resident, painting this scenic picture of him and Al Cathy riding horses down the beach. And somehow we're supposed to translate that into the hiring of Mr. Hubbard. And I've been shaking my head ever since. Here's what I believe. There are so many questions and possible irregularities tied to the hiring of the new city administrator, maybe even some that violate law, that there needs to be, at the very, very least, a temporary injunction or a restraining order in order to stop any further action on this matter until there can be an internal investigation. Mayor Miller, if you do not do everything within your authority granted to you by the city charter, then I'm afraid what's going to happen is you're going to leave yourself wide open, and you're going to leave the city wide open for civil liability. Thank you.
I wasn't going to get up here, but I recall 215 Kim Cole. Chris, welcome. Thank you. You've done a wonderful job before, and I think you're going to do a wonderful job now. I expect this council, the people that we voted in, to work with this man. So quit trying to down him. Quit trying to say he's wrong. This is our time for our city to come together and work together. And it's your whole council that's going to have to do it. That's working together. I know, I've done it. I've done it for 8 years. You can do it. May not be always agreeing, like I said last time, but you work together and you work with this man for our city and let it keep improving. Thank you.
Good evening. Tim Linderman, 105 St. Francis Street. A few of you know, for the past couple of years, I've worked for the city as a volunteer, as a grant writer, and I'm here today to update the council on open grants that I've submitted or supported the application for the city of Mexico Beach. And I'm doing this because I'm concerned we may lose several of our awarded grants this year unless decisions are made and actions are taken to meet our current or late timeline requirements. I had hoped to put this on the agenda and apparently didn't happen. So this may take longer than my allotted 3 minutes, and I ask your indulgence to proceed if I'm not finished. So, due to the turmoil the city has experienced the past few months, you, the council, seem to have lost visibility for several key grants and timeline requirements that could benefit this community. I'm not here to place the blame on anyone, but to ensure you are aware of these grants and provide recommendations for moving forward. Let me first start by saying I don't wish to repeat the storm surge gate analysis grant problem that the council recently declined the grant due to the late presentation of them for decision and uncertainty that the state of Florida would still cover the cost share of 25% that we would have to come up with. In my opinion, even if we decided the storm surge gate was not a viable option, we should have accepted the grant and included the analysis of other options in it. Had this come to the council for discussion earlier, you might have had the time to make a better informed decision. As it is, we no longer have a storm surge or flood control option being developed for the west portion of the city, and this was at no cost to the city. We may have a similar situation developing with the planned detention pond on the 80 acres along Highway 386 and the associated $8.8 million stormwater grant. I'm not sure anyone on the council is tracking the timeline requirements for this, and I know there's some this year that need to be completed. I don't know them anymore, and I don't think you do. So I've given you two worksheets. Please take a look at the first one. The Coastal Partnership Initiative. This grant is for $60,000 for 2 kayak launch docks. It was awarded in June this year with a proposed start date of July. We have yet to formally accept this grant, which must be completed now in 9 months. Several weeks ago, I presented the award details to the council for decision. You told me you wanted to see the proposed sites before deciding on locations that are needed to proceed. To date, only 2 members of the council that I'm aware of have looked at these sites. We're running out of time to complete the many requirements.
I move to suspend the rules to let Tim continue.
Second.
Go ahead, sir.
We're running out of time to complete the many requirements of this project before we can start, such as applying for the DEP permit. We need FWC and Army Corps of Engineers concurrence, advertising for the contract requirements, purchase of materials, and site preparation. I recommend that you decide on the main canal location for this kayak grant and cancel the Parker Park location by the next council meeting. America the Beautiful Fund. We received $10,000 for the Parker Park last year, and we are late on our 6-month update required by the grant provider, which entitles them to withdraw the funds. Recommend you decide on its use at the next council meeting and update the provider. Community Planning and Technical Assistance Grant. Last week we were awarded $75,000 with no match to develop a 20-year community master plan in coordination with our city's Hurricane Michael recovery and rebuilding process to evolve and grow the community within our vision and goals while protecting our environmentally sensitive lands and natural resources. For those of you who don't know what a master plan, it's a type of urban planning that pertains to the physical development of a city over the long term, usually covering a time frame of 10 to 20 years in the future. It is intended to guide the community's growth from a high-level perspective, focusing on ways to preserve a locality's unique character, ensure diversity, support investment, promote desired or no change, and enhance a community's livability. My concern is this grant award has several deliverables coming up soon and must be completed before the end of May this year, or excuse me, next year. Recommend again that you review this grant award, its timeline and purpose, and accept it at the next council meeting. Tree City USA. Last year, I applied for the Tree City USA Award, and we won. This is an annual award and requires a minimum of $2 per resident investment in reapplication this coming fall. Recommend you approve reapplying for this award prior to the November deadline for resubmission. Urban Community Forestry Grant. I've already drafted this grant application for $50,000 for the purchase and installation of trees in public spaces for 2024. And the council needs to decide if they want to move forward with it, what the funding options are for the 50% cost share, and what public locations you want to use no later than September this year to qualify for that grant, to make the timeline. Recommend again the council review this grant at the next council meeting. Beach mats, the roll-up mats. The city received a set of ADA accessible beach mats from a volunteer group donation. However, installation cannot occur until a DEP permit is awarded, a process that hasn't started yet. Recommend again the council direct the city administrator to start the permit process for these mats at Sunset Park, which I believe is the agreed upon location, no later than the next council meeting. Additionally, I recommend if the city is interested in additional beach mats, that you consider applying for the Coastal Partnership Initiative grant no later than October this year. The last chart is the Mexico Beach grant awards in progress. I'll start with the 15th Street pedestrian bridge. No one to my knowledge knows the status of the 15th Street pedestrian bridge award of $350,000, which was part of the Florida House and Senate local funding award for a total of $850,000. My concern is we've already gotten funding or notice of the ladder fire truck under this award, but no one has been in contact with the grant provider since Doug Baber left in June. Recommend the city administrator contact FDOT to determine the status and any open issues and update the council at the next meeting. The rest of the grants, I can't go into detail because I no longer have the status, but my point is I don't believe the council does either, and they include, under the Palms Park, trees, shelter, playground, and exercise equipment. Parker Park, the playground, shelter, permanent restrooms, and the stage. And lastly, the boat ramp extension. Lastly, my overall and final recommendation for the council is to receive an update of all open and in progress FEMA, State of Florida, and local grants at the next council meeting, and plan to receive a quarterly update or sooner as needed. Subject to your questions. Thank you.
Other citizens?
Connie Weisinger, 504 Maryland. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very concerned over this stormwater digging that's going on. I hope that each one of these council people, and Chris, you go out and look and see what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing. I know I'm an old lady, and I'm not an engineer, but I knew that sand bypass wasn't going to work either. I stood out there and told them it wasn't going to. They don't know what they're doing, I'm sure. I ran across the original plans for this stormwater. They were supposed to go down under the Palms, that area, which used to be a big ditch. But no, they're over on Florida Avenue. They dug a spot and put the pipe in there. That's, I guess miracles are going to happen. Because they never put a drain there for the water to go into the pipe. So please, all go out there and walk it, look at it, and look at the mess they're making. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments?
Hi, Jean Byrne, 101 Ocean Plantation Circle. The gentleman from St. Francis, thank you for the update. I have been very concerned, and my impression was at the last meeting that I was able to attend, the 15th Street Bridge seemed to be deceased. There seemed to be implication that the new development, which we were hoping wouldn't go through, when it does go through, they'll put in a bridge, and that was kind of the way it was left. If we have grants for this, we seem to have lost grant money previously from lack of following through on things, especially on the 15th Street development, which there was grant money to purchase the land. So I would ask all of you to please, if we need to put somebody in charge of the grants that can follow up on it or whatever, because we can't afford to lose money. That's just going away. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments? Okay, I'm gonna close the floor to citizens' comments. We'll move to the consent agenda. We have July 11th, July 25th, budget workshop, as well as July 25th, city council minutes. Let's start with July 11th. Any changes, acceptance, denial?
I'd make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
All right, any nays to all of, accepting all the consent agendas? All right. We'll move into our regular agenda. And first, I'm going to be talking about the final contract for Mr. Hubbard. Not everything up here, as ever said, is going to be popular, but I have to sometimes say things that are not popular. So I agree, first off, thank you for being here. I agree that getting along and forming consensus among the council is important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that the city follows laws set forth, our charter, our Florida statutes, our federal and laws and regulations, and as that, the city is transparent with our finances and hiring procedures. It has been noted and brought to my attention forward that there may be some irregularities during our hiring process that tainted the application pool and may lead to unfair, or have led to unfair hiring practices during the hiring process for the city administrator position. I also learned that the city apparently, to my knowledge, does not have any policies and procedures for hiring that is fair and especially for our upper management and staff positions that are so vital to our city. It appears like other employees that the background is just a standard 10 years, do a drug screen, no background on financials or anything. It's, like many citizens have brought forward, we say, we've said, well, they need to be vetted. All these positions need to be vetted well and carefully. And I believe that needs to be beyond a regular employee that's not dealing with taxpayer money. If there were irregularities in the hiring process or violations of labor laws, this could open our city up to one or more lawsuits. I am also concerned about the delay in our audit, and for what reasons. I can't see invoices still, have not yet been able to access those through our city software. So I think it's imperative that we find out, why this is happening. And for this reason, under my mayor's obligations and duties according to our charter, I am directing that an internal investigation be conducted. I am appointing Walt Kinsey as special counsel to conduct an internal audit into these matters. Mr. Kinsey is a member of the Florida Bar and the District of Columbia Bar. He has extensive experience investigating, prosecuting corruption and fraud, though that is his specialty. That is not what he's doing for us. He is not being asked to investigate any kind of corruption or fraud. Our goal is to protect our city against unfair hiring practices, as mentioned, and he is a member of our community. I would ask that we all cooperate with Mr. Kinsey's investigation, and Mr. Kinsey has agreed to do this pro bono. So I will not finalize the employment contract until the conclusion of the investigation and the council is given a report of this investigation. If the investigation reveals that there were any, in fact, irregularities or violations that cause an unfair hiring practice or ethical issue, that's by the sunshine laws, we may have to re-advertise the position and give everyone a fair chance to apply for this position. So,
Is this a dictatorship? Or is
point of order?
No. Calm down.
All right,
I've
so
been on council.
I can see that, some of you are upset. Remember that the council, you have your time to, everybody has their time to the floor, and we'll just move forward with our next part of our agenda.
Oh, you can't just do that now. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
All right, point of order? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm asking Clint for leadership into what you just said you was gonna do.
I don't think she has the power to unilaterally declare that there could be an internal investigation and point on her own who's gonna conduct that investigation.
Okay, I am not directing anyone in the city to do anything. I am simply telling you that we have, there is a volunteer pro bono investigation by special counsel into the hiring processes before I sign a contract for the new city administrator, and the results of the investigation will be presented to the council and the people, and we'll go from there at that time.
I don't think you can do that. I'm not. I'm asking one more time. You.
I don't think that the mayor has the power to unilaterally appoint someone to do an internal investigation without the board approving.
And we done hired him and approved his contract.
Correct.
But the contract is not, the contract has not been signed.
Council has, the council.
Well, I've got to sign it, and I have to feel good about signing it, and we are possibly going to have litigation.
Well, man, let's have the litigation after we move on forward with what we got. Let's don't, will you
Who's
find
the one that told you we're gonna have litigation?
Okay, so,
I'm not in.
Who's the one that told you we're gonna have litigation?
okay. Well, you told me that my signature on this contract was ceremonial.
Well, it is.
It is. It's not ceremonial. If you're putting a contract between the city and it's official document, you're putting between the
is.
city and this gentleman, it's an
But
official
the board
document.
voted, the council voted to hire him.
That's fine.
And to approve.
And I think the council could appoint someone else to sign the contract.
And who do you recommend?
Okay, so.
I don't recommend anybody. I'm
In
just
the
gonna do-
charter, it reads, under pro tem, that shall perform the duties of the mayor in the event that that the office of the mayor becomes vacant, that the mayor is unable to perform his or her, should say, duties by reason of absence from the city, I am not absent, or by the event of incapacity, being incapacitated. I am not. I am just refusing. And you know what? It's not the first time a mayor in this city has refused to sign a contract.
Mayor, you seem to have not liked the vote, so now you're gonna do whatever you can not to have it go through.
No, sir.
This council
I
approved
think that
the
this-
contract of Mr. Hubbard.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Do you have anything else to say?
I'm gonna run for that.
Do you have anything else to say? Are you finished?
Miss Miller.
Sorry, you finished. I'm
Miss
just
Miller.
asking you yes or no.
Miss Miller.
Don't address me, address them if you have something to say.
I'm just, Miss Miller, let's calm down now. Let's listen to what we hired this man right here to do, and let's do what he says do. That's the best. We hired the man, and I don't know, well, I don't reckon nobody can make you sign his contract, but it was a 3-2 vote where we hired him and we approved his contract.
And also, there were some possible
Ma'am,
irregularities in
the
that hiring process.
the council approved it.
So we can
Let's,
move
let's
forward.
move, let's move forward and sign the man's contract and let's move on. And then if you want to if you want to call in council, I hope you're not gonna do it at the city's expense.
This is pro bono, and it's already been done. So,
But, okay.
you ready to move forward?
I want one more time, Clint. I want it to be legal. I want you to speak. This is what she's doing,
I said it twice. I don't think I need to say it again.
and you won't sign
Do
the
you want to
contract?
stop me?
No, ma'am. What
Okay,
can we
let's
stop
move
you?
on.
Sign the
All right.
man's contract. The
All right.
council is, we voted to approve the man's contract. Now, why don't you sign it? I'm asking you, why won't you,
I'm
besides
not
what you,
comfortable with the contract being signed for an employee that there was irregularities during the hiring process.
And what
Okay,
irregularities were that?
so
wait a minute, now let him talk now, Ms. Miller.
I've got 6 of them.
this is,
We done had the citizen comments too,
yep.
earlier. And this is
I think you
council.
need to be done, because I think maybe other people may want to talk. Would you like to pass that on?
And I might come back. How about that?
Well, if I call her, you both
Go
definitely
ahead. I
can.
can talk like you can now.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Do you have anything, Linda?
Yeah, I think a lot of citizens were concerned about why we rushed so quickly into choosing a candidate when we only had 2 interviews. Many citizens were concerned about that.
You did.
Well, I think people felt pressured. People felt like perhaps, maybe, city council members had gotten together ahead of time and had some discussions about it. Going back to the phone call fiasco situation, there were a lot of concerns. So to clear the air, why not have an investigation and make sure there were no irregularities done? It was so rushed, we didn't have time to make a counter offer. There was some wording that it was discussed. We didn't have time to make a motion to change things. There were certain things in the contract that it was such a push, hurry, 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 bam, 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 done, that made it questionable right there, the speed that y'all felt necessary to make this happen. So many citizens were concerned that there were some irregularities, if you want to choose that word, that perhaps happened. Maybe there were meetings that went on that should not have happened, because that would have been in violation of the Sunshine Law.
Are you accusing somebody?
And no, I don't think she's accusing anybody. Well, I can't speak for you, I apologize. I do have something to say to that, though, is, I don't think anybody has accused anybody of anything. But if there was some violations of the Sunshine Law, being I'm the expert on this since last year, you can correct those. You can correct those by what I am suggesting is go back through the interviews, have a process, make sure it's legal and done correctly. And, if Mr. Hubbard's willing to set us interim, being paid what Mr. Mel is being paid per hour until we get this investigation done and the hiring process, he's welcome to reapply. That's my opinion. We're just,
I'm gonna have to reapply at the end of the investigation?
if we have to go into if we have an investigation, we have to go into.
I think you're kind of opening up some civil liability. At this particular
I think,
stage.
well, citizens may end up with a lot of lawsuits in.
For no reason.
Good, okay, good. 2 words, unfair tactics. We made an offer to Mr. Hubbard. He made a counter offer to us. We accepted that offer as a council 6 days ago. Mr. Hubbard accepted the offer, and the council also had, or the city administrator, the interim, had a conversation with him on the phone. And they both talked, they came up with a day that he would report. He's already served 2 days here. Mel followed up even with a confirmation email that he accepted the position. We have a valid contract. Mr. Hubbard has been working for 2 days already for the city. The question we're asking ourselves is, can we force Mr. Hubbard to accept a new contract? Short answer is no, it's illegal. He's already accepted it. There's already been conversation, there's a phone conversation. We voted him in at this council. You can't change the terms unless you're willing to sit down with the parties, the two parties, and make a change. We haven't even done that. You're, use the word the audience use, dictating what we're gonna do.
One audience member.
We have a valid contract. We need to move forward and let this guy do what he's qualified to do. Just what Mr. Tim said here and everything that we have to do. I mean, stuff's going by the wayside. We're not getting work done. We need to get work done. I'll give you the two words I said, unfair tactics. Those are the words this city needs to worry about, because that's what you'll see on the top of the page when we do get our lawsuit.
Unfair hiring practices. Would you like to say anything before we move on?
I'm ready to talk about golf carts.
Works great. All right.
Can there be citizen comments after this discussion?
I don't know that there's,
What are we doing? Are we gonna sign the contract, or what are we gonna do?
I'm not signing the contract.
I'll sign the contract.
You want to illegally, unlawfully sign a contract?
Absolutely, I'm the mayor pro tem, I'll sign it.
And I'm not incapacitated,
How about it?
and I'm not out of the country or not available.
Okay.
But apparently Clint thinks I'm ceremonial, so y'all have a ceremony. Okay, moving on to our discussion about golf carts.
Are you our city manager? That's all I mean, somehow though we
He's been
got
working
lost.
2 days without a contract.
I thought I was hired as city administrator, yes.
And you expect him to get paid.
I expect to be here and do my job just as I did, previously when I worked here.
And the council voted 3-2 to hire you and approved the contract.
Derek,
That's what I was told.
Ma'am.
let's call to order and let's move on
I'm
with.
talking,
No, you can talk to him after.
You're out of order.
You're out of order, let's just.
Who told me I was out of order?
I'm telling you, you're out of order. Point of order, let's move on,
We
please.
don't need to do that. I'm talking, I got just as much right to talk as you.
All right, I would like
Get it all you
to
want
have
to.
this gentleman removed from
You
our.
can't do that.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me call a recess and let everybody,
You can't do that either, motion.
yeah, I
No, ma'am.
call recess.
The
Yep.
proper rules do not get you
Robert
fired.
rules, I can call a 10-minute recess, please. Everybody get yourself together and let's come back and talk about golf carts.
I won't finish up on
10
the
minutes,
city
you can talk
manager.
10 minutes any way y'all want to.
You already told me.